Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is going to be an interview session with one of my friends. Her name is called Vivian Okoye, but she's going to be talking to us about life as a student mom in the UK. I know like it's fall now and there are lots of people who are migrating from other countries into the UK in search of like greener pastures or to even like gain admission. And obviously like the end goal is to, settle in the UK, but using admission as a route. And I thought it would be good to share with everyone because she has experienced being a mom in the UK and schooling at the same time. Matter of fact, she had one child who was under 1 year when she was coming to the UK, and then she got pregnant and gave birth to the second child all while she was schooling. So I thought it would be good for her to share her experiences with us. And there's also something I'm not going to say now that you will hear in the course of the interview and how she was able to get her pre-settlement sponsorship visa that will eventually lead her to her getting her ILR, which is the indefinite leave to remain in the UK. So, lots of experience packed in this one person, which is going to be sharing with us. Definitely stay tuned as I bring Vivian onto the call. Hey Vivian, welcome,
Hi,
welcome to my YouTube channel. Can you
thank you.
introduce yourself a bit before we go?
Okay, my name is Vivian Okoye. I'm a team lead at a healthcare organization. I came into the UK January of 2020 to do my master's. I did an MSc in international business at the University of Hertfordshire.
Okay.
I'm a mom of two
Yay.
girls. One is 3, the other is 1.
What are their names?
There's Valerie and there's Vianney, and I'm Vivian.
Look at that. Now I am jealous. My name is Esther. I need to name my children EE. Okay, lovely. Thank you, Vivian, and thank you for
Okay.
joining us. Today we are going to be talking about Jackpot. Like, is the Jackpot season? And
Yeah, it's a Japa fever, and
as
everyone is
in,
catching the fever.
yeah.
And I
And
think I'm pro Japa,
yeah,
so
pro Jackpot and pro Jackpot. So let me know. And I think for those of you who are not Nigerians, you might not understand what Jackpot means. Vivian, do you want to
yeah,
explain what
it's
Jackpot
just
means?
I'll call it like it's a syndrome of global migration whereby everyone is just wanting to live anywhere, Europe, England, UK, US, Canada, wherever they just want to live. Then probably when you get to that place, even Asia now, there are people actually moving to Hong Kong,
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
So wherever, just anywhere outside of Africa. Don't get us wrong, Africa is a beautiful place, but it's really been a tough time for us. So
Yeah, I think Japa actually means like Vivian says, like relocating from your country to another country in search of like a
greener
country with better
pastures.
economic, yeah, maybe greener
Yeah.
pastures,
And
like
functional systems, functional systems.
yeah, exactly. So it's fall in the UK and it's a new session, isn't it? It's a new school session.
Yeah, September.
Coming into the UK now,
Exactly.
September, October, just because there's a new. So there's a lot of like people jackpying from Nigeria into the UK. And I've brought Vivian on to the channel today to talk about schooling in the UK as a mom. So how to navigate as a student mom, because I know some people who are coming to the UK that are moms, and they've got their kids traveling with them. I was hoping that you can share, some light on how you were able to cope whilst you were schooling and managing your kids. I think you had one child before you came into the UK.
Yeah, and I had another one during the COVID.
Like
So
that must be something.
pandemic baby.
That must be something. Like you were still schooling when you gave birth to your second.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
I was just about to start my
can't
final
believe that.
dissertation when I gave birth to the second one.
Yeah, so
So
it wasn't just that you came in with one kid, like you were pregnant while in school and then gave birth to the second
while in
child.
school.
That is superpower. Anyways, so let's go to the first question. The first question is, at what point what was that moment where it came to your mind that, look, I have to leave Nigeria to the UK?
I was working in a bank in Nigeria, and like I had gone on my maternity leave. Then during that period, there was like a merger. Then I came back from maternity leave, and the whole place looked strange to me. Not the maternity was not even enough to actually take care of your child, being that I was a first-time mom, and despite the support we have in Africa as per taking care of the whole Omugo process and everything, but coming back to work was just strange for me. Everything had changed. There was like cultural disparity, and I knew I could not survive in that atmosphere, and I knew I had to leave. Then prior, I had gone to check out nursery fees for the kind of school I wanted my child to be in.
Yeah.
And it was the maths was not it was not jiving.
Was
So
not
I knew that,
mapping.
yeah, I knew that like the income from both of us as salary earners working in the bank, and like promotions were really not forthcoming when it comes to banking again. You could have people stay in one level for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
So I knew that, oh, we're going to actually be leaving hand to mouth, and that was not the life I wanted. So I knew that the abroad sector had like, you had children going to school free till a certain stage before you start paying, which could give you enough time to actually do some investments and save up in preparation for university, which they still scholarship. So if they are good and grounded, they may actually have the entire lifetime of free education. So that was when I made the decision to actually move.
Okay, lovely. So we understand like what led to you relocating to the UK from Nigeria. My next question to you would be, what was the most shocking culture shock for you when you came into the UK?
So as a full-breded Igbo girl, well trained by her mother, I greet a lot. So thank you, I apologize, good morning, good afternoon, greet everybody you see, because you should be well trained.
Yeah.
So we always pass by, like, because if you come to the UK, one of the things you learn is that you have to walk a lot.
Yeah.
So we walked. So if a Google Map tells you, oh, you have to get here in the next 5 minutes, just add additional 10 minutes to that 5 minutes, because the pace of the average Briton is not your pace.
Isn't it?
You're always walking fast. So we're like, oh, it's 5 minutes away. Then we start walking, and we walk like for 10, 15 minutes. So I tend to greet, like, you see older people, there are lots of older people here that are quite independent. So you can see them like dragging their shopping bags, or even trying to struggle in the bus.
Yeah.
So I learned not to offer help, which was really difficult. So I could see a mom struggling with her child and you're ignored. So I learned to also do that ignoring. I learned to stop greeting as well.
I think that was something that I also learned quickly, because when I came here and I see like an old person, I'm just like, hello, like nobody's even looking at you, waiting for greetings from any, like, minding their
so business. No sir, no ma, no auntie, they're not your auntie, they're not your mother's sister or your father's brother. So
that was shocking for me too as well. It's good to see that like these things happen to like all of us, because in Nigeria that cannot happen. Like you can't see an elder walking and they're just like rubbing shoulders or just like not minding.
And here it's not disrespectful. So I've come to understand that it's not disrespectful.
Yeah, it's a culture thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a cultural thing for them. Though I'm not 100% for it, but
but it's the culture. You have to go with it. Okay, lovely. Let's go back into like coming to the UK to school and all of that. So what was the process you had to go through to secure admission, get your visa and stuff like that?
Yeah, just like most people coming in, Canada was really the first spot, but the process is really long. And if you want to leave like today, tomorrow, UK is really your first destination, because their process is quite straightforward. Yeah. You can just follow the rule. I'll say check out gov.uk. Gov.uk is the government website for the United Kingdom. It has all the information you need, every information you need, everything on every different type of visas, the documents you need to use for your visa, if you're coming with your dependents, your partners, how much money you need to keep, if your school is within London, if your school is outside of London. So the first was to look out for schools. One of the mistakes I made was not taking into cognizance accommodation, like cost of housing in different areas. I never knew that, and I was not opportune to have someone like tell me that, oh, you should need to look into where you could get affordable housing,
Yeah.
especially if you're coming with family and children. It's
Yeah.
important because there are housing rules that says your male child, so if you have a male child and you have a female child, you can't stay in a 2-bedroom house
Oh,
because
really?
the boy has to have his own room and the girl has to have her own room. Then the parents have their own room.
Is
So
that a standard law?
yeah. So yes, because you have health visitors and like the family centers coming to pay you a visit. So the housing arrangement has to be there. So you're looking at a 3-bedroom flat or a house if you have children. Then if you have same sex, you might be fortunate to see a landlord or a housing agent that will be willing to give you a 2-bed room apartment for them. So it's important to take in cost of housing. On the other hand, also, while you're taking in cost of housing, you're looking at job opportunities because if you're coming with a dependent, they are allowed to work unlimited hours.
Yeah.
So it's important that in as much you're taking into cognizance cheap housing, you're looking at job opportunities within that area or neighboring cities.
Yeah.
Because the bills are not smiling, so you have to pick them as they fall short. So most people, we've had issues where we've had like experience whereby places with really cheap houses don't have as much job opportunities as if you're closer to London areas or greater London areas. So the choice is now yours to make to say, okay, if I do the math, the gap between what I'm paying if I was living probably closer to London or within like those environments that probably have a straight train to London and like the cost of maybe the jobs I'll start doing. If you do it and you wait, you cannot choose to live anywhere. But the good thing is that the transport system in the UK is absolutely wonderful. So most times, no matter where you live, it depends on how far you're willing to travel. You could actually take the trip while the second person stays local for school runs and maybe schooling and every other thing. Okay. Then you look out schools. So that's what you check when you're considering schools. Every school in the UK is accredited, if I'll say, because the educational system, the certificate is globally recognized and is acceptable by employers all over the world, which is a PEC. School system is faster. Most MSCs are finished under 1 year. You have 2 years, some placements, depending on what is you want.
Yeah.
So you check that out. The website are really very, very informative. So you can get like what you need to do. You get yourself a strong personal statement. So you sell yourself through a personal statement because it doesn't matter what your first degree is or was, you can actually do any course you wish to do if you could like relate your job experience or your skills to the course and put in a strong personal statement. More often than not, you could actually switch from business courses to healthcare courses and or IT courses or whatever. So you could see people that had like economics background doing a master's in nursing with no prior. So far, you could prove that you had like volunteer services on the side that you've done that are related to healthcare, and that would help you. I would say put in as many applications as possible. Don't restrict yourself because you may have some rejection based on criteria. You also have some acceptance. And I think after the admission, most give you a conditional offer. So whereby you pay an initial deposit of school fees before they give you your unconditional offer. Some actually require you to keep your proof of funds already, the one you need for your visa application before they can issue you the CAS. The CAS is called Certificate of Acceptance of Studies. So the UK visa system is points-based. So your CAS gives you like 30 points. It's a 40 points visa system. So your CAS gives you 30 points, then your proof of funds give you 10 points. So once you can satisfy those 2 criteria, so CAS is already standard once the university issues it to
you. Are sure of 30 points.
Because they are licensed higher education provider for the Home Office. So once they give you that 30 points, most people that get denied on their student visas, most times is proof of funds. So if you tamper with your proof of funds, you should keep your proof of funds for 28 days in a row, the amount.
For your application.
Yes, before your application. Not 1 naira, not 1 cent less of it. So more is better, but it should be that exact amount on that same. So you can't even apply on the 27th day because you get your visa denied. So your account statement should show. So I just tell you, make it 30 days, then apply on the 30th day. So that way you know that it's covered. Is on the gov.uk, if you put tier 4 visa, tier 4 visa is a student visa.
Yeah.
If you put it, you put your dependents to tell you how much money each dependent should have is generally for 9 months. So if it's like £650,
Yeah.
it will be £650 times 9 months for one dependent, 650,000 times 9 months for the second dependent. So the more dependents you have, the more money you should have in
you have to. Wow.
account. Then your visa application, you do your tuberculosis test. So all those documentations are really important in your visa application. So if you have dependents, you have to prove relationships. So you're looking at marriage certificates, birth certificates, even school fees receipts to show that you're paying school fees for children, utility bills. So if you have like land documents in your name or the house you're living is in your name, all those things, NEPA bills and whatever.
Yeah.
Anything that just shows that, oh, you're living in the same house, because it's not enough to be married. They want to find out that these two people are living under the same roof and they're together. So even if it's a common law partner, yes.
That is, all of this is for school, like just for you to come and
yes. So it's important because you could get your student visa and your dependents could get theirs rejected if you cannot prove strong relationship, because obviously you have people that try to play smart, so they could just come with somebody else that's not even their married person, they just get a marriage certificate, and if you're not able to prove that strong relationship. So in my case, I had put in my wedding brochures, I had put in my wedding invitation cards, some pictures and everything, just to like make my application strong.
Yeah.
Then you also put in the certificates you used to apply for your admission. So those documents you had uploaded, so your WIAC, your CV, some of those things, you also add it to your visa application, in addition to your tuberculosis test and your proof of funds. And that's it. You're fine on the aspect of visa application.
Okay, and like Vivian already said, like if you need to know some of that things that you need to do, or you need a full list of the documents that you need to present, you can go to gov.co.uk.
Yeah.
I think that's one website I have seen that is really, really
yeah, it's really, I don't know how they do it, but every single thing, down to things that don't even matter with immigration.
Exactly.
It's there, the tax you pay, and every rule that needs for your living.
Things. Like you can actually, when you're not sure, like, I don't know, that website is just...
I think when you're not sure, when you're in doubt, ask gov.uk.
Okay, lovely. That was really comprehensive. Thank you, Viv. Tell us about life as a student mom.
I came in, my daughter was 10 months. When we came in, just on 11 months while in the UK. And I would say that the most important thing to survive here is a supportive partner. So if you are, not to sound feminist, so if you're still wanting to deal with the old African man, I'll eat only cooked food, I'll be served while kneeling down in a tray with a basin, I would advise you just stay back and not come out, because it's difficult. But it's difficult because childcare is expensive. So as I said earlier, it was because of school fees for the children, and the long run, that was one of the reasons that encouraged my coming out here.
Yeah.
And like the platform they get, so I wouldn't know if I was good in swimming, or if I'm a sports person, or if I'm a musician, or I'm meant to be an organist, because I didn't have like that full robust academic extracurricular activities back home while going to school. So I'll say I'm a smart person, but I cannot say how genius I would have been if I had like those exposures. It's difficult because childcare, if you have children under 3, or rather, let me even say under 4, it's expensive. So you have some nursery fee running into like maybe 50, 60 pounds a day. And a day doesn't mean it's 12 hours. So you're looking like
how many hours typically?
8 to 6 p.m. You're looking some at 8 to 6 p.m., some at 8 to 12 p.m., some at 8 to 12 a.m. It's just right, some at 8 to 3 p.m. Yeah, 12 noon.
12 noon, okay.
Then there's some that 8 to 11. So there are some that 3 hours, there are some that 6 hours, there's some that 8 hours. It depends on what you can afford.
Yeah.
So if your child is under 3, that's what you're going to have. And that was my case because my daughter was 11 months. So fortunately, my timetable in school was just twice a week. So I was paying nursery fee of 60 pounds every day. I dropped her in school. So my classes were like the whole day, 9 to 5. So her nursery was 8 to 6. So I was fortunate, the University of Hertfordshire had a nursery.
Yeah.
They have a nursery in. Like, I don't know if other universities do, but mine had. So I was able to like get on the waiting list, and before classes started in 4, I got a space for my daughter to get into the nursery.
Okay.
So we're going, so I drop her at the nursery, then go to school. Then before my lectures, if my lectures are not over, I take permission and go and get her, because you come late, you pay fine for coming late to pick up your child from school.
How much is?
So I think for each 30 minutes or so is £10. Fortunately, lockdown happened and I withdrew her from nursery.
Yeah.
Because I could, the school went online. So it was a relief financially for us. Then I was looking forward to when she turned 3. So she turned 3 in February. There's 15 hours government funding towards childcare once your child turns 3. So it's usually the term after she turns 3.
Yeah.
So for mine, a new term starts, I think, January. So mine turned 3 February. So she had to start in April when a new term starts.
Yeah.
So that 15 hours is for everyone, regardless of like your immigration status.
Yeah.
However, there's 30 hours free funding for citizens or people with settled status. So additional 15 hours.
Yeah.
So if both parents are working full-time, they can get an additional 15 hours towards childcare.
Yeah.
So as it is now, I get 15 hours. So if I want my child to stay more than 15 hours, like in a week at the nursery, so it's 15 hours a week, I have to pay for any additional hours I incur.
Yeah.
So that's it. So childcare is pretty expensive. So I think as it is now, I'm paying like in a day is 58.
Yeah.
If I exhaust my 15 hours free funding, I have to pay for any additional hours. And that's where you are with childcare.
So you can exhaust that 15 hours within a couple of days in the week.
Yeah, so you can, some people do 3 hours a day, so they do 3 times 5, so they do Monday to Friday, that's 15 hours.
Okay.
So I do 2 days. I just take like 10 hours a day, so I could have like my time to do 1 or 2 things.
Okay.
So depending on your schedule, you can make yours 5 hours, you do 3 times a week, you can make yours 3 hours. So it's just an arrangement between the nursery manager and whatever, like availability, because they need like teachers to man the nursery room and everything. So they could like come around an arrangement that will suit both parties.
Okay.
So we have childminders that are outside of nursery, but they are registered.
Yeah.
So like they're licensed and like they have like the ratio of like staff to children. And so those ones are also there a little bit less because it's kind of informal. So at least if you could come late, you could like show a bit of mercy and like it could be an arrangement. They have different, so you could just always Google childminders in your county to be able to find childminders to help with your children.
Is it cheaper to use childminders than taking them to
cheaper,
nursery?
it's just a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
So it now depends,
so you
because
can either
like,
use childminders or take them to the nursery.
Yeah, but from 3 years, they should actually start a proper nursery. They should take that 15 hours towards a proper nursery, you understand? Because it's from the nursery at 4 years. You could, I think, the few months to when they start hit 4 years, you should indicate interest to some schools for them to actually start proper reception at 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's a regular school hours, Monday to Friday.
Okay.
I don't know what it is like, but as it is now, I've already sent out my own interest for some schools I want.
Yeah. And it's like an application. You actually
you apply to the county.
You go through your application.
Yes, you apply to the county and the school decides,
if they want final school that your child.
Yes, I think the school chooses, I think maybe based on certain things, because there are certain questions they ask. For instance, I'm looking at the Catholic school. So the Catholic school is asking, oh, are you practicing Catholic? So they're giving priority to practicing Catholic and that. So
okay. So
but if you have older children, it's easier because all you now pay is for like their flicks, their cardigan. You could get any uniform. There's really no specific uniform. There are shops where they sell school items, so you get.
It's not like everyone is wearing the same uniform. You can just what's uniform about it?
The jackets, their jackets have like the logo, the badge. So I think you pay for the jackets, the cardigans that they wear, the flicks. You pay for things. So those ones have like
any other thing.
But I think like the skirt or the trouser or the shirt can be, some people wear white, some people wear like pinafore, some people wear trousers. I've really not seen a uniform, but I think the jackets and stuff are the ones that have like the engraved crest of whichever school they're in. Okay. I think some have school bags also that are crested as well.
Yeah. Okay, let's back up a bit to life as a student mom. So you said one point is that you need to have a supportive partner.
Yeah.
How were you coping with like dropping off your kids, going for lectures, picking them up, you know, with your husband who is actually working as well? What's that mix like? How were you able to
it's going to be, because
create a routine?
there are days that your routines will clash, obviously. So, but it's all about you keep tweaking it and tweaking it until it works for you based on your schedule. So as I said, I had lectures twice a week. So
Yeah.
which means that if my daughter was not going to the nursery, it means my husband has to be at home when I'm in class to actually be with the kids. So it's based on your schedule. People bring out your schedule and get to the drawing table and map out what works. One person has to be home, one
Yeah.
person has to be working, one
Yeah.
person, when the other person is at home, the other person is working. The
Yeah.
trick is people tend to sweep it around, because I think with here, minors, you can't leave minors alone until a certain age, I think 16 or 18. They
Yeah.
could walk on their own on the road to go probably get something, but leaving them at home is limited. So you're going to be careful, because you don't want someone reporting you or calling social services on you that, oh, you've left a minor alone. That's negligence. I have someone I know that is actually facing a court case now on this kind of issue. So
Yeah.
whereby like she does a night shift, her husband does a day shift. So like the clash in between. So you might be closing like your night shift at 7:30 and the other one is resuming at 8, but because of the travel time, so better, oh, let me quickly leave since you're on your way. And that short space in between, someone called and they picked up the children. And it's been over 4 months now. And
They
the whole
haven't
thing,
been with their kids.
no, they haven't.
Oh my.
So I would advise everybody, as much as the bills are rising and you want to do, and you want to go and do doings in your village, just take it easy.
Doings.
Put your children first, sort them out, make sure that like the job, the rush to pick up shifts and work and get money doesn't supersede sorting out childcare for the children.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't even have someone up to like 15 in the house. If they're all less than like that, you should be careful how you sort out that.
Yeah, so I think that's why people take certain shifts or even make certain arrangements with their employers.
Yeah.
And I think UK employers are reasonable.
Yeah, so and most are targeting remote working jobs now, thankfully, since COVID. At least so where one person is working from home, so that way they could actually sneak out and run to do school run, because remember, you can't come late to picking up the kids. It's just going to be, you'll be tweaking it. It's stressful. It's super, super stressful. Like sometimes you just want to bundle the children and leave back home. But I still believe that most of the reason why we are out here was because of bringing the children, to give them that space.
Yes.
So
yes,
I won't make a decision for you. You know what your capacity can carry. I've had students, because people that do nursing, I've had them say, oh, they left the children back home because it's intensive, especially if you don't have like the science background. So it's intensive navigating into that area. So they kept the children back home, maybe with their mom. And when they were done, they got their Tier 2 visa as nurses, they brought them over. It's your decision, you understand?
Yeah, I think what I've also heard is people apply for like 6 months visitors visa for their parents. So
yes.
Your mom who can now come in and take care of your kids while you're going
to
exactly.
But it's a lot of money. I think communication is key here, because life is so busy that before you know what's happening, you become a stranger with your partner or your spouse. So I think communication, everything should just be on the table. I know even back home while you're in marriage, because it's still like communication, but I think it's way much more here because you're overwhelmed. The weather is depressing. It's like as though the atmosphere also can be depressing as well.
Oh my God. Vivian, hope you will make some people not to come with this.
No, I encourage you to come, but I'm just telling you that you just have to make it work. It's intentional. Yes. You have to be intentional here. You have to be more intentional even about your relationship when you're out of like your home space.
Yeah.
It's you're intentional about parenting, you're intentional about your relationship, you're intentional about everything. And even everything you say, your communication with the next person, it should also be watchful, because I'll say small thing gets you into trouble and big thing actually gets you into trouble. So you don't talk, and you learn their culture, you learn their body languages, you learn how they reply, and also sometimes you keep your opinion to yourself.
Yeah.
Your activism and all your rights and everything. Your good intentions can be misinterpreted.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for us sometimes because we are Africans and we are expressive. So
you have something to say about someone's parenting.
Of your mind.
keep your opinion about someone's parenting to yourself.
Yeah,
they have different parenting styles. It's so different from what we have, and you even start learning to adapt and pick up their own pros in their parenting style to incorporate it. If not, you have child services on your door.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So I was going to say you should share tips that worked for you with us, but I
Okay.
think you've shared a bit of it. But like, can you share like quick tips
Okay, yeah.
that worked for you now?
Calendars. Calendars are important. So I had my timetable, I synced my timetable, my school timetable to my calendar on my phone. So it pops up, I know what it is I have. And prior for those of them, if you're coming as a student mom, so I'll say assignments are usually uploaded on time. Go through your assignment brief even before you start that particular lecture, that particular module. So that when you are teaching in class, you have an idea of the things you want to pick out for the assignment and the ones that are not important. So that way you're already doing the assignment in your head. So when eventually you decide to sit down and put pen to paper, you have an idea of what it is you're doing.
Right.
Set timelines. I give myself like, oh, I have to get this assignment ready a week ahead of the time for submission.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. I've had a time whereby I had to collect a group work and I had just come back from immunization and my daughter was running a temperature. Guess what? That was my lowest score all through. Because I had sat down, but that was collating. I found out that some people did nonsense in their work and there was not enough time for me to actually start doing the work they had done.
Yeah.
And group assignment, it goes wrong, everyone gets the same score.
Yeah.
So if you're intentional about like getting in the grades, then you have to actually be intentional. Give yourself that 1 week time so that if, for instance, you have a sick child, you have like some affairs, yourself might even be sick, you can still give yourself that at least enough time. So turn it in, put your work on Turnitin if you're not so keen on writing. There are lots of resources. Most universities provide like extra support for international students. Go through it all. Attend whatever free. Don't think you know it all. Open your mind. Leave everything you've learned and you know and just learn afresh. And then that's what you do. Your assignment, get it turned in on time. Check, make sure you don't go through plagiarism so you don't have disciplinary committee on your neck. Attend classes. I cannot say it enough. I know people come here with the intention, oh, you work, you want to meet up fees, but you're paying so much already for school. People are paying as much as 11 to 15,000 pounds for school fees. Why not make the most of it? If you're giving the country that much money, you might as well get yourself the degree and actually put it in. Luckily, not luckily, I put in the work, so I got a distinction. So not to make mouth, but it's possible.
Viv is a freeway, just in case you people, you need to know that Viv is a freeway. Were you working whilst you were a student and a mom?
Unfortunately, the university usually has some like little like roles that you could actually get. Some most universities they have student vacancies, there's student union, they have job roles and everything you could actually pick up. Most of them are 10 hours, 15 hours a week because as an international student, you're only entitled to 20 hours work a week.
Yeah.
So I was doing something like that and it was from home.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to do anything like standard or even anything semi-skilled or unskilled because pregnancy, a toddler, COVID. So I just try to limit my interaction with the public, just not to bring it home. So but after school, obviously, I got into working. And there are students that worked and still came out with very big, wonderful results. They worked throughout and
so you can always apply to jobs in your
the school. So those can be at least if you're limited to like because of maybe the age of your children. If you have older children, it's easier for you to actually delve into other things. But if you have smaller children, like little children under 4, you're stringing them along and it's hard. So you can look for smaller roles within your school.
And then your spouse can make up for the
exactly.
Work.
Then obviously I won't teach anybody personal finance to now ask to tell you that you should budget and cut your costs and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely. So Vivian, the JAPA situation through admission is just a way people want to, it's an easy way to get citizenship or one of the pathways to actually acquire citizenship in the UK. So what's the journey like for people who come in through the student visa from getting a student visa to becoming a citizen of the UK?
Okay, so if you get a student visa, there are different routes. There are people that have it shorter and there are people that have it longer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with the longer routes. So you get your student visa, it could be 1 year, it could be 2 years. You count that down. If you do a post-study, the 2 years post-study does not count towards settlement. So we throw that on the side. So most people might finish and their partner might decide to go to school and they become their partner's dependents. So it turns around. So they might do another 2 years. So in addition to your other 2 years or your 1 year, you're counting 4 years.
Yeah.
Most times if you stay that long, likely you're going to be fortunate to get a work visa after that length, because normally if you stayed up to 3 years, you have like a kind of settled status, because some of that, have you been in the UK 3 years or more?
Yeah.
So it means that at least you're looking to actually set foot or set camp here. So most likely you're going to see a sponsor. So either one of you would get a sponsor. You might get now, because now you're under your spouse's like second student visa. You have like that freedom to actually keep applying for jobs and get. So if you might get like a 3 years or a 5 years. If you get a 5 years, you're looking at now maybe 7 or 8, depending on what it is.
Because that's 4 years.
Your you and your husband.
So if you get 5 years visa, that's 9.
That's like 9. So most times, if you stayed 5 years, once you're on a 5 years work visa, at the end of the 5 years, you can apply for your indefinite leave. So which means on your 9th year, you can go into ILR at once.
So ILR means indefinite leave to
remain,
which is like your journey to citizenship.
Is it like what Americans call green card or what we call PR in Canada? So UK calls it indefinite leave to remain, ILR. So you get it. Then there's other people that are fortunate to get a work visa just after school. So they do their 1 year or 2 years, get on a 5 year or a 3 year work visa. If it's a 3 year, you can get it renewed for another one. So before the second one has run out, you can apply for your indefinite leave to remain. And that's it. After your indefinite leave to remain, you hold your ILR for 12 months. 12 months after your ILR, you hold your British passport.
Hey.
Then you can now start the vacation, visa-free country. So,
oh my God! Then you can visit over 100 countries for free.
Please, that's goal. That's goal.
That is sweet. Okay, so I'll quickly recap what you said. So if you come in on a student visa, you have 2 options. One is immediately after schooling as a student, you get a job that gives you sponsorship to stay in the UK with a work visa, and that can be 5 years. So after your 5 years, you can then apply for ILR and then hold it for 12 months. That's 1 year. Then you apply for your passport.
British passport.
Your British passport. That's one way. The second way is that you come in as a student, you have your 2 years of schooling or 1 year, then you get 2 years post-study visa, which doesn't count towards your
settlement
journey. Yeah. Then your partner, if you don't get a job that gives you sponsorship to stay in the UK, your partner can then apply to school. You get an additional 2 years. So that's 4 years. Then while your partner is schooling, you can be applying for a job that has sponsorship. And if you get one that gives you 5 years, that's already like 9 years or so.
9 years, so you're good.
And then you have like an additional year. Like obviously, any company that gives you 5 years.
You don't even need an additional year. Once you go the 5 year one visa,
yes,
you don't need to complete 10 years.
Yes.
But it's also safe to mention that even your partner, so if you're the student, your partner can actually get the sponsorship and you come under them.
Yes, and you come under them. Yes, and it will start counting. So I think the best idea is for while you're in school,
your partner should start looking for exactly
sponsorship. Once your partner gets that, that's the fastest way. I think the job visa is the fastest.
Yeah, work visa is the best way, because once if you're able to get like a 5 year work visa, that's it. Once you're done with it, it's ILR. If you give birth while in the UK, so either as a student or a dependent to a student, and you get your ILR, the child or children given birth to while in the UK don't go for ILR. They just go straight for their British passport. So those children,
they have to be here for 3 years for them to be eligible for a British passport, isn't it?
Yeah, they have to be there with you, because normally you can't stay outside the UK more than 90 days if you're looking at that settlement. Once you stay more than 90 days out of the UK, you start your counting from the beginning. Wow. So while you're traveling back home and weddings, burials, don't get carried away. Make sure you have enough passport page to come back, that your visa not to expire, that will allow village to keep you back more than 90 days. Because once you're 90, even if you've stayed like 9 years here, and you stay out of the country more than 90 days, you're done. You're not getting it.
Wow. Crazy.
So at least, so if you have a child here, you know that once you get your ILR, children of individuals with ILR or pre-settled status, it's called a pre-settled status, are entitled to get their British passport. If you have an ILR, any child you give birth to has a British citizen straight. You'll be on your ILR, but that child will have their British passport.
But if you don't have ILR yet,
your child is not a citizen.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. But after 3 years, like if you give birth to them here, and after they will still not be.
It doesn't work because my daughter I gave birth to in 2021 will be getting her British citizenship in like 2026. Should be 6 years or 5 years then. She can't get it.
You also get your own ILR.
Yeah, she can't get in that 3. I heard that it used to be that 3 years before now, but I think things have changed from all I've read on gov.uk, because I've heard that same thing. I've tried to own one because what it means is that if my child has a British citizen, I can now use my child's own to get my own.
Yeah, no,
like I'm rich, but that is not up to the
board. I hear this thing happens in America. In fact, I have one of my friends whose daughter is an American citizen.
No, those ones vary.
They cannot apply for citizenship on her passport until she's like 18 or 21.
21.
Then she's old enough to apply for
them. Yeah.
So it's not like because your child is now.
Yeah, I'm saying. So your child is the person don't have British passport. I tried to look at it because my plan was at least if my child when she turns straight, at least we have one in the house, so we know that no one is going anywhere, no shaking. You understand? But I've read, I've Googled, I've checked everywhere.
So I beg
it has to be parents who have ILR, or who one person is a citizen. That's the only 2 options.
Okay.
Cool.
So Vivian, let's talk about you now. You came to school, then you finished schooling, and then you applied for a job, or you applied for jobs, and then you got a 5-year sponsorship. That's a big deal. Like it means that after like your 5 years, you're eligible for ILR and stuff like that. How did that happen?
Gov.uk is quite robust, so there are loads and loads of companies that sponsor work visas depending on the area you're looking at. So there's this new visa, the health and care visa, that I know that is also raving back home, and everyone are looking to get in it. So that visa was the route I am on, the health and care visa. So there are roles. In health and care visa, you could be a project manager in a healthcare organization, you could be a data analyst, you could be any role, whatever, but it's under the health and care visa. So it covers not just clinical roles now, even managerial roles, administrative roles are all covered. Yes, under the health and care visa. So I'd advise like on time, you start looking out. You obviously apply to thousands. Our first options are always the big 4 if you're in business and management.
I know,
like
look at
banking, and you look at all those ones. Those ones are all valid. But most times
you're always sure that you get, if you're really good, you get sponsorship with the big 4, don't you?
Yes, but the truth is that because of the visa type you're on, because at the time you're applying for your job, you're actually on a student visa. And on the top of your BRPS, it says restricted 20 hours work max a week. So once you submit that for documentation, they know that they cannot apply your full-time basis. So and the rule I said before, you like sponsor anybody, you make sure that there's no other person in the UK, like citizen, that can actually perform that role. So that this way the preference is being given to people who are citizens when it comes to some certain job functions. Hence the low cost or movement into healthcare by lots of immigrants, because that way you're having like at least you're having more of the need. There's a need for more staff or employees in that area.
Yeah.
So that's one thing there. So I'll say spread your tentacles and open it up. It depends on what you want. The people that go through post-study and they sit it out and they wait for like they're waiting for like that breakthrough, like the big jobs they want and everything. Then it also depends. You have someone else on the other hand that has family that say, okay, I just want to ensure that these people are settled, because if at end of your 2 years post-study you've not been able to get yourself a sponsorship, you're looking at another school year, another 2 years of school fees.
And another 2 years of thousands of pounds in
because you're paying health insurance, you're paying a visa fee and everything.
Renewing your BRP, aren't you? All of those
things. And I'll say the earlier you settle down here. I don't know about other countries, but settling down here as far as getting your papers or getting a visa that is like pre-settled goes a long way to like easing out every other thing when it even comes like housing, mortgage, and the rest. So I made the decision and said, okay, one person can decide to go for the bigger one. Let me look for a role in the health. Since I got an offer for one and
Yeah.
I chose it. And
Yeah.
people get into education. I think if you go for your PhD, you're
Yeah.
sure of getting like a sponsorship from the university. So,
Right.
but that's 3 years of school fees if you don't have a scholarship and
Um,
intense work.
intense work.
So I'll
Okay.
just start early. Both parties, don't limit yourself. Don't even look at a job role and say, oh, 6,000 pounds. You say, no, I'm not qualified. Just keep training the application, their job
Yeah.
site. I think there's Indeed, there's
There's Reed, there's
read.co.uk.
Glassdoor, there's
Yeah, there's Glassdoor.
um,
So just keep
there's a lot
applying,
of them.
optimize your LinkedIn, put
Yes.
your CV to like tailored to how CV should be in the UK. There are certain things that should not be on your CV. I think your date of birth should not be on your CV. So those things, ensure that your CV is tailored to what I think here 2 pages maximum for CVs
Mm-hmm.
in the
I
UK
don't
because
think
you do
people read 5 pages CV again. Nobody has that time. Like,
exactly. So just keep applying, keep applying. But when you're getting to the tail end and you get, it might not be what you want. If you get the decision is still between if the person is married, it's between you and your partner to
yeah,
decide what it is
you
you
want
want
to
to do.
do.
Because if you have children, you also put into consideration children's school. You want to up
Yeah,
them and move them to another area and all,
yeah, yeah.
and then you make that decision. But as it is now, the health and care visa is going, and I know loads of people are getting it.
Yeah.
Also, network. There are Nigerian communities, there are communities other ways. Don't just even restrict it to Nigerian communities. There are students communities, so your department can have like those things where
Yeah.
such information is also shared.
Yeah.
Questions, open your mouth and talk, like let people know, oh, you're looking out for this, please,
Yeah.
if you get this information, please let me know.
Yeah.
So at least I know that some people are looking for this. I know that, oh, I tag, and my friends also tag me to some things. They feel like because I've spoken about it, so they know, oh, I'm interested in this. So when they see you, they tag, ask
Yeah.
questions, open your mouth and talk.
There's something they say. Say don't ask, don't get. If
Yes.
people know that
And
you're
here,
looking
the
for
truth of the
something.
matter is that no one is going to flog you actually. So even if you actually even get into like employment, you ask, you demand for something,
Yeah.
call, I
Yeah.
need this. Is this obtainable?
Yeah.
The list they'll say is a no. Oh,
What's the
you're not
worst that can happen?
entitled to it
No.
now. I think when I did 30 hours, then that was when I knew that non-citizens don't get 30 hours child care. But I
Yeah.
requested for it, and when I found out, like, okay, so what's available to me?
Yeah.
15 hours. I took the 15 hours. And when I need to reshuffle my nursery time to I asked, I
Yeah.
sent an email, please, is it possible to get my daughter to come in on a Wednesday instead of a Tuesday?
Yeah.
They'll say, okay, no, there's a Thursday and there's a Friday. Is that okay? And I say yes. And so don't assume that the answer will be a no.
Okay. Always ask. That one is really, really important. So speaking about applying for jobs, what were some of the challenges that you faced whilst you were applying for jobs before you got the one that sponsored you?
I think one is like the fact that once your visa type matters for the jobs, like it's beyond so you're qualified, you might even get to like interview stage, maybe second stage, third stage, then you get knocked out at documentation stage because of your visa type. So it was discouraging. Like I had actually broken down and I cried because I was exhausted, which was even one of the reasons that made me actually to then divert to healthcare, being that, oh, apparently like most immigrants are getting it and making it. And that's why you see people coming here, there's always a nurse in the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that was it. But I'll say don't get discouraged. I had my friend, like, I think she applied for over a year and she finally landed like a good, I was excited. I think 2-3 months ago, she landed a role. Not everyone has that patience and tenacity, but I'll encourage people to actually have it because it's
Yeah.
encouraging. You
Yeah.
understand that after
Yeah.
she went for loads of interviews, loads of it, and eventually she's been able to get the role she wanted, or at least one, because at least once you get one foot in the door, that's it. We are good like that. If you're able to have like an employer that gives you that like chance,
Yeah.
and you get your foot in the door, most times you can't get us out. It's
Yeah.
higher. So just keep pushing, get one foot in the door, the second foot in, and you're good to go. That's it.
But like Vivian already said, I think that is a really key point, like tenacity and just consistency, like keep applying. It's a game of numbers. Like people say all the time, getting jobs is a game of numbers. Apply to loads and loads of them. Some of them will not reach out to you. Some of them will reach out to you. You will not still get the job.
And some might be even fortunate to even give you feedback, which helps.
Yes, yeah. Some of them will actually give you feedback on why you didn't, pass the interview.
Yeah.
Some of them will not. And then you'll get some of them. So don't stop, keep applying, applying.
Big, small, don't even say you're not qualified, yes, for this particular role. Even if it's bigger than what you think it is, just sending your application.
Yes, apply. You never know. Like, you never know.
Which one clicks, actually.
Yes, you never know,
And pray.
And pray. That one is important, guys. Because everything we have is God that is giving us. It's God that is making a way for all of us,
So you can cloak any village.
It's God that opens doors.
Yeah.
Right? So absolutely. Like, throw in all the applications, do your part, and then pray to God to help you. There's something they usually tell us in school. Then they'll say, read like you have not prayed for your exams, and pray like you have not read, because you need the tools, for everything that you need to do. Lovely. So this is my final question to you, Vivian. What would be your advice? What would be your advice to students coming into the UK using admission as the JAPA route?
As I said, you've paid the fees, so just put in the work. Most times, like, they appreciate the hard work. Yes, they appreciate the hard work, because if you're putting there for, your lecturers know you. And so even if you have a deadline that you could not meet, when you ask, you say, oh no, this one is a serious person, they know. So put in the hard work. It opens door for you. Even when you ask for references from your tutors, they know that you're different. I know that, yes, we already have like that bad name and all this thing following us, but you can set yourself apart with your work. So be hardworking, be determined, be honest. There's no quick way in this abroad. You cannot escape it.
Yeah,
they will catch you.
Hard work.
They will catch you. So just take it slowly. Don't even pressure yourself. Don't allow anybody at home to pressure you. When you come here, or if people at home are asking, they should hold on. Don't put any unnecessary pressure. I understand that a lot of us are maybe breadwinners in the family. You're this, you're that, your first son, first daughter. Don't die on top of anybody's matter. Because apparently there's all one every Saturday back home in Nigeria. There's no money. People are doing wedding. People are doing massive. People are doing this. You're working 24/7 to be able to send for people to die. There's no even point and kill here. No suya. Nothing. Find your own community, create your own community. That community you have back home, create it, get solid people. Solid people, like here, they'll say nobody do anything for anybody for abroad. But if you're fortunate to see someone that is willing to do, you're ready to also extend the same hand. The way they are having, you have them. It's easy to be selfish, share and play the fast one or play smart because everybody's making money. You create your own community so that at least you have like people that lift you up, that share you up, that hold you up in prayers. Get a church community. It's hard to go to keep your spiritual life alive here. Your spiritual life alive. Because the things we pray for back home are already sorted out. I don't have money saved up for when I go for a test result and they say, oh, you're dying. I know that anything I have, so it's easy to just hand your life to the government and have it taken care of, citizen or no citizen. But get that church community. You have children, let them at least get that. Keep it. Try as much as possible to just keep it. Have fun. Some days cancel that work and go and have
and chop your money.
Chop the money.
When you earn the pounds, chop it. Have fun.
Yeah. So take that time. That community is important. It's really, really important. You need it because I don't want to hold your kids. One day you're running late. Someone you can call the person can quickly run and pick up the children. I have like people I've met in church. I've met in school. They're also Nigerians that they are my emergency number now. They are my children's emergency number as well to call.
And people do group school runs, don't they? Like,
yes, exactly.
The kids of your friends and your own kids.
Exactly. My house is open. I know that anybody can drop my children there if I'm at home.
Yes.
We'll feed, We
and then
eat,
you
we
do
watch
yeah,
television, and
do it for
things
other
are this.
people.
Once you get them, hold them tightly, the good
Yeah,
ones. It's good,
yeah,
it's easy to find people that get into trouble here. But if you find those ones that have the same value system as you, keep
yeah,
them close. You will
yeah.
need them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree. Wow, this is information packed. Thank you,
Thank you.
Vivian.
And I wish you luck for those of you that are coming, those of you that have gotten your visa.
Yeah.
It's stressful, but it's worth it, especially if you're coming with children. Believe me, 2-3 years from now, when
Hey,
your daughter say, "Oh, it's a jacket."
hey. They're gonna speak accents for you. You get
Yes,
that's
please.
my money working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And feel that your children will never go through what you're going through now when you
Yeah.
came.
Yeah.
Because by the time they are getting to that stage of university, they are all citizens. So
Yeah. I think that's one of the considerations you make when you are actually like jackpotting or relocating,
yeah.
is that you want a better future for your kids as well. So
Mm-hmm.
the hard work that you're doing is not just for
Yes.
yourself.
And it will pass once you start settling down. 3 years in, 4 years in, it's no longer the same thing. You start having free money to blow. Once you be paying
Hey,
school fees, you
hey.
will have it. And food is
Oh
even
my
cheap
God.
also. So food is cheap here. So
Yeah,
no, at least bad as it bad, you must find something to eat.
yeah. Except you're eating out, it's more expensive to eat
If you're
out.
eating out, yeah, exactly. Yeah, pack Nigerian food also, please. If your children are selective, they have something they're selective, pack as much
Yeah.
as you can. Don't pack so much clothes, but pack some clothes. So clothes are expensive here. They are not as cheap as I thought.
Yes, this interview has been so informational. Loads and loads of information packed here. Guys, I think I don't want to release this thing again. People have to buy it as a course.
Yeah, please.
I'm joking.
Master class.
Masterclass, jackpot masterclass. But thank you, Vivian, for showing up today. Thank you for all of the information that you've shared with us.
Welcome.
We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, take care of you. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, and so that is all for today. You have heard Vivian say it all. That is a lot of information packed in one. Oh my God. Okay, she shared a lot of tips with us. If you have more, please share in the comment section. When are you coming to the UK? Let me know in the comment section what has been your biggest culture shock coming to the UK as well. And if you're planning to come to the UK, of course, let us know in the comment section as well. Please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do not forget to like, share, and comment. I also want to engage with you and save this video because you need to go back to it and watch it again and again. Share it with other people who are coming and don't let them just come in without having a lot of information. I've done this video because I know it will help a lot of people, and I please want you to share it with people who will gain from the information. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. Until I come away again the next time, please have fun and be a better version of yourself. I love you. Adios.